Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Iran's capital, Tehran, is facing an unprecedented water crisis that could leave large parts of the city dry within weeks, experts warn. With reservoirs shrinking and water usage outpacing supply, officials have slashed water pressure across 80% of households and are delivering water by tanker to some areas. Experts blame decades of poor water management, overpumped aquifers, and unsustainable farming practices for creating what they call water bankruptcy. As the government considers temporary public holidays to reduce demand, many fear irreversible damage is already done, leaving the capital to hope for rain in the fall. On Tuesday, President Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that Russia now has just 8 days until August 8th to show a willingness to make peace with Ukraine, or the U.S. will impose economic sanctions aimed at stopping the flow of cash that has been funding Moscow's 41-month-old invasion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's right-hand man lauded those statements, saying it will let Vladimir Putin know that Washington is serious about ending the war in Ukraine. When the U.S. leads, the free world follows. When America is serious, Russia backs down, said Andriy Yermak, who runs the Ukrainian office of the president and is seen as the equivalent to White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. Should that continue, Trump has promised to levy 100% tariffs on any country that buys Russian oil, either directly or indirectly, punishing those providing Moscow with its main source of income to power its war machine. Federal investigators say an Army Black Hawk helicopter involved in a deadly mid-air collision with an American Airlines passenger jet over Washington, D.C. in January was flying higher than permitted, and its altitude readings were off. The crash, which killed 67 people near Reagan National Airport, was the deadliest U.S. air disaster since 2001. At the start of the 3-day National Transportation Safety Board hearing, officials revealed the helicopter exceeded its 200-foot limit, and its barometric altimeter showed it's flying 80 to 100 feet lower than it actually was. Tests on other helicopters in the same unit showed similar discrepancies, raising concerns about outdated equipment. While the Army defended the discrepancy as within acceptable limits, investigators and lawmakers are now zeroing in on a FAA-approved flight path near the airport that left little margin for error. The crash has sparked fresh calls for legislation requiring enhanced tracking tech on all aircraft, including military ones, as federal safety leaders warn of growing risks in increasingly congested airspace. High Noon is voluntarily recalling some of its vodka seltzers after a packaging mix-up led to alcoholic cans being mislabeled as Celsius energy drinks. According to the FDA, cases of High Noon's Beach Variety Pack shipped between July 21st and 23rd were mistakenly labeled as Celsius's Astro Vibe Sparkling Blue Ras flavor, raising the risk of unintentional alcohol consumption. The error stemmed from a labeling mistake by the can supplier, according to producer E&J Gallo Winery. While no illnesses have been reported, 2 production lots are affected and already shipped to multiple states. The FDA has posted full details on its website, and High Noon is offering refunds for impacted customers. Move over Christmas in July, Summerween is taking over. Across the country, people are throwing festive backyard bashes with a spooky twist, blending classic summer fun with all things Halloween. Think jack-o'-lanterns carved from watermelons, inflatable skeletons lounging in kiddie pools, and beach ring tosses with witches' hats. The quirky celebration, inspired by a 2012 episode of Disney's Gravity Falls, has exploded on social media thanks to a viral TikTok mashup and retailers like Michael's jumping on the bandwagon. Dubbed Summerween, this unofficial holiday has no set date, just a shared love for ghouls, goblins, and getting spooky in sweltering heat. Thanks for watching Braintree today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
When it comes to getting around Greater Boston, the T is the greatest value.
Yeah, you can save big compared to ride shares. I mean, there's no surge pricing, there's no tipping. How about no traffic stress?
You can park at any of the MBTA's lots and garages, and it's easy and affordable.
Just tap your phone and go. It's fast, modern, and convenient.
From Aquarium Station, explore Faneuil Hall, the Greenway and Carousel, and Christopher Columbus Park.
Or hop on an MBTA ferry for a scenic trip into the city.
Less stress, more savings, convenience at its finest. That's the T.
So many reasons to get on board.
Welcome back. On Monday night, the Braintree Zoning Board of Appeals had their first official public meeting since the previous board members abruptly resigned in June of 2025. The new board members, Raina Rubin, Jose Perez, Angela Kavanaugh, and Tom Kleber, continued the work left by their predecessors. During the meeting, attorney Tom Kavanaugh, representing Mona River LLC, wanted to introduce a petition to the zoning board for variances to build an apartment building at 1139 and 1151 Washington Street. Here's more from attorney Kavanaugh.
As you're aware, the project is located at 1139, 1151 Washington Street. In that area, those parcels are zoned general business. This is the site of the Dalton Water. It's made up of 4 assessor lots. It's about 1.84 acres. As you will see on the plans to the rear, it abuts the Manattaquit River. Currently, it's a non-conforming industrial use with non-conforming industrial buildings, 2 dwellings, gravel, trucks, storage units, water pools, all located within the 100-year floodplain. The proposal here is to raise all existing structures on the property. The proposal is to construct 59 units with 90 parking spaces, completely revitalize and rebuild the riverfront, provide adequate drainage to protect the resource area, with all improved areas being substantially landscaped. As you'll notice in the application, there aren't any dimensional or setback variances being requested here. The variances here relate to the first one being stories. As I indicated, there's a serious drop in grade. There's a resource area to the rear. The proposal was then to make all parking on grade and to bring it underneath the building. The first story is not inhabitable. It's to capture the parking. It's to provide the adequate parking underneath. The alternative to that is to put parking in the resource area, which I don't think anybody wants. So the 4 stories is to capture that parking. However, what you'll notice is the height restriction in Braintree is 50 feet. We're still under 50 feet. On the Jefferson Street side, I believe we're at about 37 feet. On the side next to Mento, we're at 47 feet. So we comply with the height restriction. It's the story restriction we don't comply with because we need to find space for parking. The parking proposed is 90 spots. The ratio there is about 1.5 parking spaces per unit, which will be enough to do one parking space per bedroom, essentially. The parking is going to be dealt with in leasing. The applicant intends to rent these units. Parking spaces will then be dealt with when somebody signs a lease. Each person gets a spot, or this unit gets 2, or that one gets 1. But the leasing will be adequately dealt with during the leasing process. There's provided bike storage. There's also UV chargers for cars. And the MBTA is not too far away as well for those that would like to walk. The next variance we're seeking would be for density. Right now, the ratio is about 31.9 units per acre. That is consistent with this area. That is consistent with recent decisions in this area. And that suggests it would not be a substantial detriment to the area at all.
After the presentation from architect Stephen Young, many community members spoke in opposition of the project, including previous chair of the zoning board, Stephen Carl. With the large response from community members, decisions on the project were postponed until the next meeting on August 25th. To watch the full meeting, head to BCAM TV's government channels, Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 26, or on youtube.com/BCAMTV. 5 teenagers are in custody after police say they crashed a stolen SUV into a Braintree cruiser during a chaotic chase Tuesday morning. Officers responded around 9:30 a.m. to reports of teens doing donuts in the marketplace at Braintree parking lot in a Kia that had recently been reported stolen in Boston. When police arrived, the teens sped off the wrong way down a one-way street and attempted to hop a curb near Toyota, slamming into a police cruiser in the process. Braintree Police Chief Tim Cahoon said the group then fled on foot, with one teen leaping from a parking garage onto a parked car below, damaging the vehicle's hood. All 5 teens, ages 14 to 16, were eventually caught and are now facing charges in juvenile court. The Braintree Senior Center is offering a full slate of weekly programs and special events for residents 60 years and older this August. Weekly offerings include daily fitness classes, men's coffee hour on Mondays, game day on Tuesdays, the Asian Outreach Group on Wednesdays, and movie day on Fridays. For one-day events, the center is holding a low vision support group on August 5th at 10 a.m., bingo on August 6th at 1 p.m., and on August 7th, pool lessons with Kathy will be available at 12:30 p.m. To sign up for any of these, contact the Braintree Senior Center at 781-848-1963. The Big Top is officially landing in Braintree as Flip Circus rolls into town from August 22nd to September 2nd at the South Shore Plaza. This high-energy, family-friendly spectacle promises jaw-dropping flips, wild stunts, and non-stop laughs that'll have your family and friends buzzing. Organizers say the show delivers electric, unforgettable entertainment that's far from your average night out. Tickets and showtimes are available now at flipcircus.com. Just note dates may be subject to change. Free meals are on the menu this summer for Braintree kids and teens, thanks to the return of the Summer Eats program. Hosted at Hollis, Morrison, and Ross Elementary Schools, the program offers breakfast daily from 8 to 9:30 a.m. and lunch from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. No registration or ID required. This year, families can expect more than just food with weekly crafts, activities, and more. Organizers say the program is open to everyone and aims to provide not only nourishment, but a fun, safe space throughout the summer. For full menus and more information, visit schools.mealviewer.com/district/Braintree Public Schools or call 1-800-645-8333. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Heading into the city? Don't even think about driving.
The T is by far the best value in the city.
Park with ease at one of the many MBTA lots or garages with rates that beat anything in the city.
You just have to tap your phone or contactless card and ride. No machines, no stress. It's modern, fast, it's easy.
And the best part, you get dropped off steps away from where you want to go.
Hop off at Park Street, explore the State House, Boston Common, and the Theater District.
And don't miss a concert at the Orpheum.
Ride smart, ride the T.
So many reasons to get on board.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. The FBI Boston Division is warning New England residents about a rise in phone scams, where callers pose as law enforcement or government officials to extort money or steal personal information. Officials say scammers use fear and intimidation, often threatening arrest, frozen bank accounts, or property confiscation unless immediate payment is made. Victims are typically told to send money through wire transfers, prepaid cards, gift cards, or cryptocurrency ATMs. The FBI stresses that no federal agency will ever call to demand money or threaten arrest. Officials also warn that scammers often spoof legitimate phone numbers to appear authentic. Anyone who believes they've been scammed is urged to stop contact with the caller, notify their bank, and file a report with both local police and the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov. To confirm if a call is from a real FBI employee, you can contact the Boston Division directly at 857-386-2000. Vendors who work with Randolph Public Schools say they went weeks or even months without payment due to a financial dispute between town and school officials. Sophia Haynes-Cardwell, who runs the Stages Cultural Arts Center, says her staff went unpaid for months while continuing to teach dance classes for Randolph students. In mid-June, school officials reported that more than 200 invoices totaling over $1 million were on hold as the town and schools clashed over budget transfers and paperwork. The conflict escalated, with the school finance director placed on administrative leave and later resigning, citing a hostile work environment. Town officials claim the school's spending account showed a $4 million deficit, while school leaders argued the money was tied up in other accounts and just needed approval to be transferred. The dispute led to a series of heated public meetings, but by mid-July, the two sides agreed on a solution. The town has since lifted its requirement for paper invoices, adopted an online payment system, and announced that all outstanding vendor payments will be issued by July 31st. Haynes-Cardwell has also received over $10,000 owed to her program, but says the ordeal has her questioning whether to continue working in the district. A Quincy man is facing assault and firearm charges after police say he shot at a vehicle carrying a pregnant woman during a road rage incident on the Southeast Expressway in Boston in early July. 33-year-old Michael Bragle was arraigned Friday, July 25th in South Boston District Court on multiple charges, including assault with intent to murder, assault with a dangerous weapon, illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, and attempted assault and battery with a firearm. Bail was set at $3,000 with GPS monitoring if released. A statement from the DA's office said the pregnant woman and her boyfriend were driving northbound on I-93 around 5 p.m. when a pickup truck swerved through traffic and nearly hit them. When the woman honked, the driver stopped, got out, pulled a gun, and fired a bullet that hit the couple's car before speeding off. The boyfriend caught the truck on video, so police were able to trace the plate to a Quincy address linked to the company Alltown Construction. The couple later picked him out from a photo lineup. Bragle also has an open case in Quincy for malicious destruction of a motor vehicle. He is due back in court on August 28th for a probable cause hearing. Get ready to groove through the decades as Quincy's 70s, 80s, and 90s dance party is happening Saturday, August 16th from 2 to 7 p.m. at Hancock Adams Common, and it's totally free. This outdoor throwback celebration invites the community to dance, dress up in retro gear, and enjoy a jam-packed lineup. The Sidecars Band kicks things off at 2 p.m. with a tribute to the Cars, followed by Joyride at 3:30 p.m. for a live 80s mixtape, and disco legends Tavares headline at 5:30 p.m. with hits like Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. Food trucks and drinks will be provided by the Lunchbox Concessions, Trolley Dogs, Wahlburgers, and Hive Mobile Bar. Experts are warning that Massachusetts is facing one of its worst tick seasons in years, with tick bites surging 43% compared to 2024. The CDC reports 125 tick bites per 100,000 ER visits in the Northeast so far this year. Tick season typically peaks from March to August and reemerges in the fall, with the pests thriving in grassy and wooded areas, putting outdoor lovers and their pets at high risk. Officials recommend using EPA-registered repellents like DEET or permethrin, wearing light-colored clothing, performing daily tick checks, and removing ticks promptly with tweezers to help prevent exposure to illness. Thanks for watching Braintree today. We'll be right back with more on entertainment. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now this week in entertainment, we have 3 movies for you to watch. First, The Ballad of Wallace Island follows an eccentric lottery winner living alone on a remote island who tries to make his fantasies come true by getting his favorite musicians to perform at his home. The film stars Tom Basden and Tim Key. You can watch The Ballad of Wallace Island now on Peacock. Up next, Together follows Tim and Millie, who find themselves at a crossroads when they move to the countryside, abandoning all that is familiar in their lives except each other. With tensions already flaring, a nightmarish encounter with a mysterious, unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. The film stars Alison Brie and Dave Franco. You can watch Together now in theaters. And finally, The Fantastic Four: First Steps follows Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing as they face their most daunting challenge yet, as they defend Earth from Galacticus and Silver Surfer. The film stars Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. You can watch The Fantastic Four: First Steps now in theaters. That'll do it for news today. Remember, if you're a customer of Verizon, you can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128. You can also now see us in high definition on Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.